Here we go.
Hello guys, I'm Combo Movie Film Productions. Welcome back to the DC Film Retrospective. Today's film is the iconic sequel to the hit first film that redefined the comic book genre, as it's considered to be not only one of the best comic book films ever made, but one of the best films ever made in The Dark Knight. After Batman Begins was a hit, Warner Bros. Greenlighted the sequel. David Goyer already had done rough drafts for a sequel in the third film. Nolan and him developed the film to be about the Joker, since he was set up at the end of Batman Begins and wanted the film to be on a grander, more dramatic scale. In between the two films, Nolan made the Prestige with Christian Bale before returning to the tights, and after getting all the returning players from the first film back, apart from Katie Holmes, who turned down the film to be in Mad Money starring Queen Latifah. Nolan searched for new players being added into the sequel. Nolan got Heath Ledger to play Joker after having discussions with him during production of Batman Begins, and he contributed hard to the role, isolating himself, making his character as unique as possible, distinguishing himself in previous adaptations to create a performance of a lifetime. This would sadly be his last major role, before dying of ODing on sleeping pills and other prescription drugs in January 2008, a while after he completed principal photography, but a few months before the film came out, giving the film more curiosity surrounding it and positive and negative buzz, similar to Paul Walker in Furious 7. The film was released in the theaters in July 2008 and was a monstrous hit, with both getting amazing reviews from critics and audiences alike, along with the film being the first film ever to hit $1 billion worldwide, causing it to be the biggest hit of that year, and received many awards, including a couple Oscars. One was for Heath's performance. The film is considered to be the best of the Dark Knight trilogy, one of the best comic book films, sequels, and films in general ever made. Do those statements still hold up? Well, before we get into that, let's get into the plot. The film is set 9 months after Batman Begins, where Batman is still cleaning up the streets of Gotham and is still doing a pretty good job at it, nearly eliminating all the mob bosses in Gotham with the help of Lieutenant Gordon and his new team that tracks the mobs down and arrests them. Even as far as Hong Kong at one point Batman goes to arrest a mob boss, as the new DA Harvey Dent, played by Aaron Eckhart, and his assistant district attorney Rachel, now played by Maggie Gyllenhaal, serve the mobs to justice, as Dent and Dawes start to form a romance. But this is before the new sheriff rolls in town. The film opens up with a bank heist where most of the members are killed off, all orchestrated by the Joker, played by Heath Ledger, and insane terrorists with no clear backstory, and peculiar ways of getting his message across, while dressing up like a clown. His main goal is to tear down Gotham's finest, and leave Gotham citizens hopeless again, basically tearing down everything Batman and the authorities have built. He steals $68 million from the bank to lure his way into a meeting where the few remaining bomb bosses are left, and offers to kill Batman for half their revenue, but they don't like the deal, nor do they believe him. But many sadistic acts Joker does throughout the film makes him able to grow his army to be more of a threat against Batman. Joker starts to kill people live on TV and says he will stop if Batman reveals his identity, but Bruce doesn't want to do it because he has too much to lose. Joker then sets his sights on Dent, believing in him to be the beacon of hope for Gotham like everyone else thinks, including Gordon and Batman, so he tries to kidnap him multiple times throughout the film. Joker infiltrates a party Dent and Rachel are attending, but Bruce is there also. He decides to knock out Dent and trap him in a closet, as Batman fist fights some of his goons, as Joker grabs Rachel and throws her out of a window of the building as he catches her. Joker then tries to kill the mayor disguised as a police officer with his goons, after he poisons the commissioner's drink and he dies, making Gordon the new commissioner, despite what I said in my Batman Begins review. Batman, Gordon, and Dent come up with a plan to trick the Joker into thinking Gordon is dead during the attempted assassination, as Dent, during a press conference, pretends he is Batman and is arrested for it. The truck he's in gets ambushed as Batman zooms towards Joker on his Batcycle, but can't bring himself to kill Joker as he crashes and gets held at gunpoint by Joker. But Gordon surprises him as Joker is arrested and interrogated by Batman. Meanwhile, some traitors in Gordon's force kidnap Dent and trap him and Rachel in separate warehouses rigged with explosives. Harvey says to Rachel everything's gonna be fine as she announces his love for him and wanting to get married, more than she ever did with Bruce, as Batman saves Dent, despite having his face burnt off in the process. But Gordon isn't able to make it in time to save Rachel as the place blows up to the Joker escaping his cell and pulling the strings. Joker's next plan is to ask the citizens of Gotham to kill a man that knows Batman's true identity, that works for Lucius Fox, who also created a new Batsuit for Bruce, finding Batman blueprints in the Wayne Warehouse archives, which he threatened to blackmail him earlier in the film, but couldn't do until now. Joker says when the guy appears on TV, if he doesn't die within an hour, he will blow up Gotham's hospital. He arrives at the hospital to talk to Dent, which now has a scar from the explosion from his face split down the middle, from regular to burnt skin as he calls himself Two-Face, named out of a nickname he was called back in Eternal Affairs, and it's also based off his father's coin, which he flips to see who lives and dies once he starts going out, killing people responsible for Rachel's death, which drives him and turns him evil. Joker has now torn down the city's best beacon of hope. Meanwhile, Joker plans on one last big finale. Everyone starts to evacuate Gotham onto 2 giant ships once Joker threatens to tear the city in half. But what no one realizes at first is that both of them carry bombs, and Joker will blow both up unless one of the ships blows up the other one first. People are hesitant and no one wants to pull the trigger, as Batman tries to find Joker and stop him as he battles SWAT members when they start attacking people who are believed to be Joker's members, barges hostages disguised like them. Joker and Batman battle on an unfinished building as neither of the ships blow up as Joker hangs onto a grappling hook and is arrested. Batman goes to find Dent as he kidnaps Gordon's family after tricking his wife and kids, believing him to be responsible for Rachel's death, as Batman shows up and says all 3 of them caused her death. He flips a coin to determine their chances, and as Dent's about to shoot Gordon, Batman pushes Dent off a ledge, killing him as he saves one of Gordon's children. They both realize Dent's name can't be tarnished so his legacy can continue to inspire people, so Batman decides to go on the run and pins Dent's murders on himself as the film ends with Gotham in a weird state. Gordon praising Dent as he smashes the bat signal, Lucia's leaving Wayne Enterprises after he helped Bruce find Joker through a machine that stopped everybody's phones in Gotham, which he didn't like. Alfred burning up Rachel's letters confessing his love to Dent, given to Bruce, as Gordon explains to his son that Batman is the true hero that Gotham deserves, but he's not needed at the moment, but will rise again as the Dark Knight as credits roll. Where do I even start? This film is magnificent, truly extraordinary amongst the superhero genre, especially in this retrospective where we've only had a few great films thus far. This movie is so well crafted, every scene is basically flawless, with it moving the plot forward, consistently entertaining and investing, and just being so good. One of the best things it does right off the bat, no pun intended, is to prove every problem I had with Batman Begins. And there were many problems, but still. The action is a lot better, great smooth camera work and editing along with the choreography being brutal but calculated at the same time. Every action scene stands out and makes the film feel even more grand in scale. Bale's Batman voice is a lot more consistent, easier to understand, and less laughable I would say. Plus they give Rachel more to do, which casting Maggie Gyllenhaal was a better choice, because she does a lot better as a character than Katie Holmes did. No disrespect though, but with how dynamic she is along with having more interesting things to do, it made me sad when she died halfway through. And that's one of the best things the film does. It perfectly encapsulates you in this world and everybody in it, making every scene interesting because you care for these characters and what will happen to them. Especially what happens to Den. Man, was that brutal. I usually don't like when good guys become bad guys in the third act, i.e. Venom and Spider-Man 3 and other examples, but Dent's arc is a tragic one, like this whole movie that drives the theme song with the villain's motivations, and shows how much somebody can fall. Harvey Dent is one of the strongest characters in the film and Eckhart does a great job in the role. The film balances each character perfectly and it doesn't feel like any of the characters are pushed to the side. Each character gets something to do, even Alfred and Lucius. But let's not beat around the bush anymore. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the Joker. Heath Ledger gets one of the best performances in the movie ever. He easily gives the best performance I've seen in a comic book film alone. I know Robert Downey Jr. and Hugh Jackman are icons, but those are characters they were born to play and were basically leaved off the comic books. Ledger makes his role into his own. Ledger makes his role into something completely different, and it's absolutely brilliant. Everything including his character not only entertains the crap out of you because of how every single piece of dialogue is memorable, from you know how I got these scars, to why so serious, to his constantly changing backstory. It all fits with the character, which I'm glad they never officially explain his backstory in the film, because it makes him less human, but he feels real enough to where he feels like a presence. Ledger just drives his role home and creates one of the best villains, if not the best villain in a comic book film ever. Sorry Thanos. He does an excellent job of not just being a crazy guy like most of the other interpretations have done, but making him manipulative, conniving, deceitful, and has so many layers to him that he's unpredictable and you don't know what he's going to do next. And it's great clashing with Batman, which he is equally as important, since the film is named after him. And despite the Joker steals a movie from Batman basically, it doesn't mean his arcs are less important or interesting. Not a single thing about this film is uninteresting or feels left to the side. The film feels so epic, but feels personal too. The main thing about things having to get worse before they can get better, like Alfred says at one point in the film, basically summarizes the film in a nutshell, being about the Dark Knight falling down before he can get back up in the sequel. Makes it quite powerful and is all help from the amazing writing and directing once again, which are top notch and easily the best thing Gore's written and Nolan has directed thus far. It's just incredible.
Where are they?
Overall, saying The Dark Knight is a masterpiece is an understatement. The film is truly amazing in every way. The acting is superb, the story is constantly engaging and exciting and never gets boring for 2.5 hours, the dialogue is memorable and exceptionally written, the action is improved from Batman Begins, as well as every other issue I had with that film, the score is great, the film expands upon Batman Begins while also trying out new things, the film looks incredible from a technical standpoint, the film invests you in every character and makes them all important in the narrative, the production design is great from the suits to the locations, it all looks great. Fantastic writing and direction, and so much more that makes this not only the best film I've covered in this retrospective so far, the best film of the Dark Knight trilogy, not to spoil my review for The Dark Knight Rises, but one of the best sequels, comic book films, and films ever made in my opinion. This film is a triumph. I give The Dark Knight an A+, a 10 out of 10, and a must-watch recommendation. So that's The Dark Knight. What do you guys think about it? Leave your thoughts on the comments, so please don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. I'm Combo Movie Film Productions, and this isn't the last DC film to review because justice needs to be served.